All right, everybody, we are welcoming our newest sponsor of the show. We have Chipp Golf Co. Randall Pulfer, CEO and co-founder, again, Chipp Golf Co. Really excited to bring them on here. So, Randall, thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, Scott, I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. So, Randall, for our listenership out there, we were kind of talking offline. Podcast is really revamped here this last year. We're super excited about it. We got Drinking Buddy. Now we got you coming on board. And so I have some of the swag here as we were promoting Chipp Golf Co. And we're going to talk a lot about these. Yeah, literally, they got there just in time. My fault for ordering it a little bit late, but appreciate them. And I got to say, these are absolutely phenomenal. But for our listenership out there, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started.
Yeah, so I started Chipp Golf Company with one of my college friends about 2 years ago. So in college, my co-founder and I, we always knew we wanted to start a business together. We actually would set aside time every week to brainstorm ideas and really just see if we could start something. We actually did end up starting a company in college called Birthday Box. It pretty much ceased to exist after we graduated, but it was our first real dive into entrepreneurship. And I remember we snuck into a career fair and set up a booth and did all this stuff. And we're hustling around town trying to sell basically box kits for people's birthdays. Essentially, parents could order from local bakeries. You could mix and match gift cards, and we were just assembling them and selling them. And that was kind of the first rush we had of entrepreneurship. And we both, although it was a grind, we both looked at each other. We were like, this is so fun. We have to find a way to continue to do this. So after college, we both moved back to Chicago. I moved to Dallas in 2019. And so we've been separate for the last 4 years or so. And it wasn't until COVID that I really had time to dive back into kind of thinking about business ideas and things that I wanted to start. And one thing that I always knew is I wanted to start a company in an industry that I'm really passionate about. I wanted to do it with someone that I really trusted. And Tyler's both an avid golfer, and obviously a good friend of mine. So it was a natural fit. And during COVID, one of the things that stood out was everyone was able to play golf all the time. It was the only thing that people could get outside and do. And also the world around everybody was struggling. And I was like, how can this lucrative industry be benefiting so much in this struggling time for everybody else? And so we wanted to create kind of a product that allowed us to give back to charity, but was also something that kind of added fun and spice to the golf game. And the way the game of golf has been trending over the last, couple of years has been a lot of more flair, color, trying to get out of the country club style and more into, your local players and just having fun. And one of the articles of clothing that never really made that transition was the golf glove. Golf shirts, golf hats, golf belts, everything kind of had it. But golf gloves were literally, you go into a store and it's black or white or a different white. And so we were like, well, how come there aren't any colors out there? And why aren't there any patterns or anything fun like that? And we looked and there were a few competitors, but nothing. We had ordered some to actually try them out, but nothing that was high enough quality. Either it was a synthetic leather, a mesh, the pattern would wear off, etc. And so we decided to set out and make it ourselves. So that was back in 2020. We decided to do this, and it took a handful of months, and actually, quite honestly, a little over a year to find a manufacturer, convince them that what we were trying to do was possible, have them send us samples, go back and forth. And so we ended up finding a manufacturer to kind of bring our idea to life. And we started with 2 designs in 2022. We had our Texas Hold'em, which was our first design, poker design, and then our Feeling Lucky, which was the Clover design. And we wanted to kind of come up with some designs that were fun, unique, kind of related to golf in a way where it's okay, people they gamble, they play gambling games on the golf course. So poker, gambling. Similar, you go out and you're trying to hit a hole in one, so maybe you need some luck, or you're trying to beat a low round. So that was where the Feeling Lucky came in. And I know obviously Ireland and Scotland is where golf was invented. And so having a little bit of the luck of the Irish flair to it too didn't hurt. And so we wanted something also that had very distinct colors. You got the black and red, and the green really pops off the white. And so those were our first 2 designs. And our manufacturer, their minimum order quantity was 1,000 for both designs. So each 1,000 each, so 2,000 gloves total. And for us, that was a lot of money to shell out on an idea. And so we had spent a lot of time setting up the website, doing some projections, so we thought, and just took the leap. We ordered, 2,000 gloves. They came. We ordered separate packaging and everything. And so my now fiance at the time, she was just my girlfriend. So I'm glad I locked that one down, because she spent many, many nights with me packing gloves into our packaging and labeling them. And we had them stored in our garage. We were doing the whole startup thing. And since then, we've added a few more designs. We've gotten our processes down. We've gotten our packaging improved. So that's kind of where we're at now. It's the middle of 2023. We're really diving into the art of social media advertising, as our business is primarily direct to consumer on our website. We also do have a couple of retail locations in DFW that have been helping us out, trying to feel that out and see what works, what doesn't. We've also done some private orders for companies that have wanted to customize gloves as well. So it's really expanded. I think when we first set out, we were like, we love this product. We love this idea. Let's just see what happens. And then as we've gotten increasingly positive feedback on it, we've continued to branch out and add designs and different revenue streams for it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love that. Right here, I got some of the packaging, as you mentioned. Like low key, I love the zipper tie on this one.
So that's actually the old version of our packaging. So you should have both,
okay.
right? Because you got the
I do.
Yeah. So that I sent those to you on purpose because I wanted you to see the old versus the new. And so to your point about the slider, when we had done some research on gloves that were ordered online, people really liked the slider because it was lightweight, it was easy to ship, but it also stored gloves really well. One thing that was really attractive to us is it was cheap, and we could put the clear window on the front, which allowed us to mass order the one bag for both of our gloves. So you'll see now that our gloves moving forward will have unique packaging. And the reason we did that was because in the retail store, we were running into issues where people were trying the gloves on, putting them back, and it just looked horrible in the display. And so we figured it was easier just to customize them per glove design. But I did send you both those on purpose. You can kind of see the difference there.
Yeah, no, I have the other one in the other room actually. So only got that one right now. But yeah, no, it's great. As I mentioned, I got some of the product right here, man, and I'm absolutely loving it. Before that, though, how'd you get into golf? You mentioned like I'm, from Chicago, moved to Dallas. Were you one of the COVID golfers that took off with the industry? Did you grow up playing, or what's your background and your affinity with the sport?
Yeah, so I played sports my whole life growing up. My dad was a avid golfer, and I was just not into it when we were growing up. And so my dad passed away when I was 12, and he had kind of left his golf clubs, obviously, in the garage. And it wasn't until high school when a lot of my buddies started picking up golf. And so I said, well, I'm just going to, I got clubs. I don't have to pay a bunch of money to get clubs, because that's one of the things that I really hate about the game of golf is it's so expensive to get into it that it prevents a lot of people from starting. So I had my dad's clubs in the garage. I decided to pick them up and go play with my buddies. And it was so challenging, so frustrating. But anyone who's like an athlete, that's also something that makes you want to just continue to get better. And I became obsessed with it. I really didn't start playing seriously until college. I didn't pick it up until late high school. Probably one of my biggest regrets was not playing earlier, because I know the sponsorships and stuff that are available for college athletes in golf, and obviously like getting to play with your friends growing up is a ton of fun. But yeah, so I started playing a little more seriously in college. And then it wasn't until after college when a lot of intramural sports and, even in high school, when you're done playing sports in high school, unless you're really good and can play in college, your athletic career kind of stops. Right. And golf is one of the sports that a lot of people pick up and you can remain competitive with. And so that was the thing for me, is I had played basketball and baseball in high school, and dropping off with that, obviously going into college and picking up golf was kind of the next competitive thing that I could really try and practice and play. So I didn't really play seriously until college. And then obviously after college, when I graduated, I started making money. My first big boy purchase was to buy my own golf clubs. And since then, I've been playing as often as I can. So I love it. It's a great way to get outside, get some exercise, see friends, socialize. As you get older, you try and look for these activities that you can kill multiple birds with one stone. And golf is that one for me. So I love it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. That's so well said that, most people want to continue either just being outside or whether the competitive edge with your friends and whatnot. Golf is a great way to do that. Kind of how we got connected is through business school, which we're currently in, no big deal. But we were saying offline too that there's pretty strong golf communities within both of our programs here. And so it's just a good way to network, meet people, and you get invited out to things. And so I recommend that anybody, it doesn't matter if you're good or not. My whole thing is just pace of play. As long as you keep up, if you suck, that's fine. Let's just have fun out there. If you have fun, that's a whole big thing. So it's no, that's awesome.
And
So the
real quick, that's totally where the game is going. Like it used to be, and that was probably part of the reason I was intimidated to get into it was I had some friends that belonged to country clubs, and I didn't want to go there and be horrible and not know how to dress, and like everyone's looking at me as like the outsider. But now, I mean, there's so many public courses available, and people are so much more welcoming to incoming golfers. And like you said, pace of play is probably the biggest thing that frustrates most people when they're on a public course. No one cares if you're hitting it left, right, up, down, whatever. Like as long as you can, know when to pick up your ball or finish it out or whatever, you'll be just fine.
Absolutely, 100%. Could not agree more. It's funny. I was playing actually in a little scramble event for with some classmates actually, and one of the guys he said that he was a COVID golfer. He picked up the game playing. He's now works for a startup, and so he's like, yeah, I'm taking out clients golfing all the time. I'm really glad I did. And we were having pretty much this exact same conversation. And so yeah, that's especially because you mentioned you're in the Metroplex, DFW. There's a ton of great golf there. Even if you go out to South Lake, Argyle, I know that's a little further away from you, but Stevens Park down there or Sherrill, it's great.
And they're all public and they're all relatively cheap. Like I've been pleasantly surprised at the value you can get, at least in Texas for sure, with the public courses. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them. They're not too expensive, which is great.
Side note, what happened to Cedar Crest? Did you see that
Oh,
picture that was floating around? I
so
probably played there about a year ago and loved it. A couple of my fraternity brothers live in DFW. We went out there. It's fantastic. They have the big plaque saying home of like the 1920 whatever PGA when Walter Hagen won. And now it's like the greens are bunkers. What happened?
so I was there last year for the first time, and it was like $20 for a twilight round. I was like, this is the greatest deal ever. So I went back. I was actually playing the course the same day that picture was taken and sent in to Zyre Golf.
No
And,
way.
oh my God, dude. I thought so. The worst part about it was they had a tournament in 2 weeks. And I don't know if you're on their email list, but they sent out an email that was like basically everyone got fired and they're doing like a whole renovation and cleaning house. So
Wow.
I guess it just takes some social media posts, but it was a disaster. The putting was horrible, but it was fun. Good company.
It's a shame because that's a great design. Great design of a golf course. I
We'll
really had
bring
a good
it,
time.
we'll bring it back. It's a Dallas gem. They just need
Yeah.
some better management in there. It should, they were blaming it on the weather, but it's like every other course in DFW had the same weather and no issues. So
Yeah. I mean,
not
look,
to bag on Cedar Crest. Love Cedar Crest, but
we're talking about you because we care,
yeah.
right? It's because there's so much potential there. But so man, I gotta say, when I was trying on these gloves here for the first time, probably about literally 10 minutes before we hopped on here, I love the quality of these things. I mean, was that one of the first things that you were looking at whenever you were deciding on even just coming up with a product, right? Like how important was the quality of the product to you?
Quality and price point were probably the two most important things when you look at golf gloves. And I'm a victim of this myself. Like I usually would just grab the cheapest one off the shelf.
Mm.
And a lot of times they're like a synthetic leather. They wear down really, really fast. And if you really want to get into the upper end, you're spending sometimes almost $30, maybe north of that.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to create a glove that was in that, like low $20 price point, but was made with the nicest material that you can make golf gloves out of. So it's a premium Cabretto leather. It's the same leather that you'd find on a nice Titleist glove. And it retails for $22, free shipping on our website. And it's a really good deal, I think, as far as value is concerned. And then, that price, we would love to bring that price down further. I think as the company grows, that's one of the main objectives is to continue to make it more accessible to people because that's the thing. Like, we're not trying to, buy a glove for $4 and sell it for 50. Like, we want to get these into people's hands because we think the product is great and the cause behind everything is great as well.
I love the design of the golf club. Yeah, as you mentioned, there are other kind of coolish design gloves out there, but they also tend to fall apart. One of my buddies bought one, not necessarily appropriate. Let's just say one, the thumb is pink, and so, but it just started ripping off and shredding and whatnot. So I love what you've done. Like, here's the Texas Hold'em here. It's really engraved on there, and there's no way that thing's coming off, which is awesome.
Yeah, they do wear eventually, but from what we've
Sure.
seen with people, it's like, oh, I've been going on my 10th round with it and it's still going strong. I'm like, yeah, I mean, any glove is going to start to wear down after 10 plus rounds. So we're pretty proud of that, because that was certainly a major concern was with those emblems. And I think why a lot of people haven't done this is it's a challenging thing to figure out. It took a lot of sampling to get it how it is now. And so, yeah, we're pretty happy with where the product's at.
As an entrepreneur, you mentioned you've had that entrepreneur spirit mixed with golf. This sounds like a great marriage. How do where does the inspiration come from? The designs, what's kind of the future plans with the company? Because not everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit. So I think it's awesome that you combine both of these two. How do you come up with the designs? What are some of the next steps for the company?
Yeah, the designs so far have just been, off the top of the head, like things that I think either are fun, related to golf, bring color. Some of them are ideas that people have given me. So we've only got, 8 designs on the website right now. We have a laundry list of ideas that we keep just in like a note sheet on our phone. So we really are more constrained by the capital to actually buy the inventory than the designs themselves. But one thing that's really critical to kind of Chipp's mission in general is our donations to charity. So we donate 10% of all of our proceeds to charity. And a lot of times the charities are their missions are a lot of the inspiration behind our designs. So I mentioned before, like, we designed the Texas Hold'em and the Feeling Lucky. Those are ones that we, found charities to match those designs after the fact. But then, like, our USA one, the Wounded Warrior Project is one of the main inspirations behind that one. And so that was a design that we said, okay, we love the Wounded Warrior Project. We have some experience working with them before. They're a great cause. Can we design a glove that would kind of fit their, messaging a little bit? And that was how we came up with the USA one. And so sometimes it's design first, cause second. Other times it's the cause first and the design second. So it kind of goes both ways. But
Yeah.
we definitely like having designs that color all, different colors on the rainbow, and so give people a little bit of everything.
And one of the tabs on your site here, so everybody go to chippgolfco.com. That's Chipp, CHIPP golfco.com. You have a mission on there, and it says the organizations that this glove will benefit to, and also you kind of have the donations to date. And man, not many companies have that level of transparency. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, we love to show people. I mean, this is what their purchases are going towards. And I know you called out the CHIPP. So the actual name for the company came from the mission first kind of thing. Like, we wanted to chip in both on and off the course. That's kind of one of our MOs. And so we really want golfers to look good on the course and do good off of it. And that's kind of been, one of our guiding lights throughout this whole process. So yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what are some of the next steps? What's next for Chipp Golf Company?
So we're continuing to come out with new designs. We've got a few designs in the works that we'll be releasing early next year. I think we obviously want to continue to scale up the business. I think I mentioned it before, we've been investing a lot of time and energy into social media marketing and figuring out how to really expand the reach of the products. And then secondly, I think the overall goal of this is to potentially expand this into other products. I mean, we want to make sure that we do something really well before we expand. And I think our niche is in the golf glove industry right now. And so that's where we've primarily been focused. I mean, the golf industry is huge. So even if we can carve out a fraction of a percent of it, we'll be doing just fine. So I don't feel the need to expand and blow this up immediately, but it's certainly on the bigger picture roadmap. I think for now, it's really just continuing to roll out new designs. And most importantly, like, we want to have fun with it. We both work full-time jobs at the moment, and I would love for this to eventually take over, and to a point where I have to quit my full-time job and do this. That's certainly a possibility, something that I'd be willing to do if it ever got to that point. We're a long way away from that. But it's kind of been fun. And that's one thing I have to echo here too, is like, if you're going to start a company, whatever it is, you have to be passionate about it, because you put in a lot of time and effort and you often don't get the rewards right away. And so if you don't have that drive, like, I don't even view this as a moneymaker. I just view this as like a side project that's fun. And if we happen to make money, that's great. But I think, the product is high quality. We're supporting good causes. We're enjoying it. We're learning a lot. I get to catch up with my college buddy every week. So, that's something that I look forward to. And it's been a lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome, man. So everybody for the listenership, again, go to chippgolfco.com. I mean, look, here at 300 Par Pod, you got some customers for us, man. I literally saw my round on Saturday. I noticed my glove. I was warming up. I was getting a little like damp. And look, let's be real. Houston is a swamp. So it is just humid. You sweat through gloves like every other round. And so I know I'll definitely be ordering some gloves coming up here. So, which I know we'll be in Austin here in about a month. And so hopefully we'll get to tee it up while we're out there. And I'll be wearing these, man. We're going to blast it out on the gram and wherever we can for you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Yeah. Real quick plug. If you want to check us out on socials, at Chipp Golf Co. That's ChippGolf Co. Also wanted to give you guys a discount code. You can use 3. That's the number 3 under par, UNDERPAR, for 10% off everything in our shop.
Use the promo code. That's a great thing. Sounds like a great deal. Well, Randall, man, we really appreciate you coming on. This has been so much fun. It really has. Kind of talking golf, inspiration. Maybe there's another entrepreneur out there. We just took an entrepreneurship class, and we were talking about what are some golf ideas that we can come up with. So I love this. Again, the product is fantastic. The quality is amazing. Design is beautiful. So can't recommend it enough. So Randall, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. This has been a ton of fun. Can't wait to see you out in the links soon.